Battle through the firmament. Grand world. Chapter 340 Su Zhizen's thoughts. With the descent of the inner courtyard competition, the number of students who came here decreased significantly. There were only a few of them, and it was rather deserted. Shaoyan descended like a flowing light following a whistling sound. After identifying the technique hall where Su Xiang was, he rushed over. Some of the surrounding students did not even see the former's figure clearly. As I expected, you will come. Within the technique hall, Su Xiang sat on the upper seat. When he saw Shaoyan enter, he was not the least bit surprised. He made a move and gestured for Shaoyan to sit down. He looked at the smiling Su Xiang. Shaoyan furrowed his brows. He suppressed the anger in his heart and went forward to take a seat. Do you know why I came here? Shaoyan said straightforwardly. He wasn't polite to Su Xiang at all. Su Xiang only smiled when he heard that. He did not care about Shaoyan's attitude at all. Of course I do. On the formula Wuxiaoqi took over, there were a few rare herbs. In order to find these herbs, you need a lot of time. Therefore, you needed the help of a powerful elder to temporarily suppress the injuries in Shaosuna's body. Among the people you know in the academy, the one with the strongest strength. Without a doubt, it was the Qibai elders, and to find them. The only people you know are me and Elder Shao. Su Xiang's analysis was logical and accurate, and it hit the nail on the head. He told Shaoyan what he was thinking. That's right, that's why I came to find you. Shaoyan's expression was calm. He tried his best to speak in a flat tone. That Shaosuna is very important to you, right? He flicked his finger. Su Xiang looked at Shaoyan casually. Shaoyan frowned and said in a deep voice, of course. Very good. Since that's the case, can you give up the monic flame to save her? Su Xiang's expression became serious as he stared at Shaoyan. His voice suddenly became cold. Boom! Shaoyan, who was originally filled with anger, could not hold it in anymore when he heard this. He smashed the table in front of him into pieces with a punch and stood up with a loud bang. He did not care about the gap between the two of them and sneered. Su Xiang, I respect you as an elder of the academy. What do you mean by stabbing me again and again? Being interrogated by Shaoyan in such a way, Su Xiang's expression did not change, but his eyes were unusually cold. He said coldly, intentions. Fine. I will tell you my intentions. After saying that, Su Xiang also stood up and stretched out his right hand. Shaoyan felt as if his body had been imprisoned, and he was unable to move at all. Even though the origin monic key in his body was violently surging, he was unable to break free from the bindings of the former. Don't you feel very uncomfortable? Su Xiang's eyes were cold, and he said with an expressionless face. I have only used less than half of my strength to completely suppress you. You can imagine how weak you are. Shaoyan's eyes turned red. The anger in his chest was like a raging fire. The veins on his body were bulging. He struggled to make a sound, but there was nothing he could do. Don't waste your energy. Even if it's less than half of your strength, it's still not enough. You have the strength of an emperor cultivation. It's impossible for a two-Dao emperor like you to break free. Looking at the furious Shaoyan, Su Xiang sneered. What's the use of being angry? If you are not strong enough, even if you have the fury to kill someone, it is worthless. After saying that, just as Su Xiang was about to let go of his grip, Shaoyan suddenly let out a furious roar. A black and golden light surged out from his chest, and an aura that caused Su Xiang's facial expression to change dramatically erupted. In an instant, Shaoyan broke free from Su Xiang's restraints. What kind of imposing manner is this? Su Xiang's face was filled with fear. With a flash, he hastily retreated to a spot not far away. In that instant, he felt as if he was being suppressed by a monic cultivation warrior. The black and golden light on his chest dissipated. Shaoyan was breathing heavily. He looked at Su Xiang with his sharp eyes and said coldly, Elder Su. Give me an explanation. Su Xiang frowned. Shaoyan's ki had returned to its original state. At that moment, was it just an illusion? Su Xiang shook his head after hearing what Xiaoyan said. Although I don't know how. As he spoke, Su Xiang raised his head and looked at Xiaoyan with a cold expression. He said word by word, 2 years later, in 4 Academies competition, I can tell you clearly that a Heaven's Chosen One of Star Sky Academy is no weaker than me. Do you think that no matter how hard you cultivate, you will be able to defeat him in 2 years? Fury flickered in Xiaoyan's eyes. After hearing Su Xiang's words, his expression didn't change at all. He just stared at the latter coldly. Yunlo Academy has already lost 4 years ago. As the cultivation resources in illusory spirit space have decreased, the other 3 academies will only squeeze the time of Yunlo Academy for their own benefits. If they lose again this time, they might lose 15 days of cultivation time. Su Xiang's face was gloomy. When he mentioned the other 3 academies, his eyes were filled with anger. The reduction of time of cultivation will definitely cause the strength of the students to decrease. The students are weak, and the 4 academies competition is at a disadvantage. This vicious cycle will sooner or later destroy the Yunlo. Therefore, the Yunlo must win this time. After saying that, Su Xiang looked at Xiaoyan with a calm expression. Ma Huyang, Lin Dao, and Xiaoyi are our biggest hope this time. In order to increase their strength as soon as possible, we have to make some sacrifices to the others. Your Monic Flame is the best thing to increase your strength. No matter which one of them you give them, they will definitely be stronger than you. Su Xiang's expression was solemn as he spoke out all the words in his heart. Xiaoyan was stunned for a moment when he heard this, then he said with a cold smile. Is this your reason? What makes you think that the Monic Flame won't work in my hands? Su Xiang frowned and said coldly, I know that you can use the Monic Flame skillfully, but your strength is too weak. In the 4 academies competition, the minimum requirement for strength is 5 Monic Emperor. Do you think you can achieve it? This is my goal. Hand over the Monic Flame and I will immediately pay a visit to the Qi and Bai elders. Xiaosuna will suffer less. Shaking his head, Su Xiang took a step forward and said with an expressionless face. Humph. Xiaoyan sneered and said, if that's the case, you should know that Xiaoyi wants to kill Jushinho and obtain his sacred spirit fire body. Su Xiang raised his eyebrows when he heard this. He looked at Xiaoyan and nodded slowly. He gritted his teeth and said, I know. For the Yunlo Academy, Jushinho can be abandoned. Ridiculous. Xiaoyan couldn't help but sneer. He looked at Su Xiang and said, let me tell you, no one can take the Monic Flame away from me. Go and tell them that whoever wants it, they can take it. Even if Ma Huyang, Lin Dao, and Xiaoyi come together, I won't frown. After saying that, Xiaoyan turned around and left, ignoring Su Xiang's gloomy face. You really want to set the future of Yunlo Academy. Don't blame me for being heartless. Su Xiang's voice was cold. As his green robe fluttered, he stretched out his hand. Su Xiang, stop. At this moment, an old voice sounded. Xiaoyan turned around and looked. Elder Xiao, who had a furious expression on his face, walked over from outside. Behind him was Wu Shaoqi, who had a strange expression on her face. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.